Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Hedera. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so before we get into the micro time frame stuff, we're going to talk about some of our bigger time frame things. So what we are looking for here in the bullish case is that what we are saying is that we have this as an A wave, we're looking for this as a B wave, and then we're still looking for this potential where this could be a C wave to the upside. Now our one-to-one target would be here at this 10 cent 80. A move up towards this 1618 area would actually align with this move becoming 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 to the upside. So that would become a trending move if that is the case. Now, if this is the case, effectively what we'd be looking for here is continuing to hold these lows here of this 0399. As long as we hold this level, we do have potential that we could start to build this C wave to the upside here. Now, what we need to be careful of is within our bearish scenario, what we could have is that actually this is a wave 4 here, and what we look at is this as a flat correction. Now, if this is the case, effectively what this would be saying here is that we are looking for the potential that we could still see a move down towards this 0285 to this 0194. So we need to be careful of this until we actually break back above this high point here of this 0987. We need to be cautious of the idea that we could see price just continue to drop off down into this area. So we're going to go over that bullish count first, and then we're going to talk about what we could see here within this bearish scenario. So like I said, within the bullish count, we're looking at this as an A, B, and a C. So we're looking for this C wave to start to push to the upside. Now we have come down here all the way to the 786, so we don't really want to see this low get broken here, and invalidation of this comes by crossing this 0356. If we cross this 0356, it confirms that this move here is a C wave, and then we would be looking for that lower target. Now within this structure that we currently have here, I'm actually going to come in on the 4 hourly here, and we're going to discuss what could be playing out. So we got a couple of ways we could look at this. Now there's two ways really that I'm treating this move. So we can either treat this as 1212 here, in which case what we could be saying here is that this is 1, 2, this is now 1, 2 again, and we're looking for this third wave to the upside. Now the third wave target would be all the way up here towards this 1618 area. I have got this labeled as ABC here because if we don't actually move up into this 1618, it is possible that even this move here could actually just be a completed C wave, and then we could look to actually break down. So we're going to go over that idea of the corrective move, but within this bullish count, what we'd be saying is that this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2 here, and effectively what we're looking for confirmation of this, given our current level here, is actually a move up towards a 0807. Now, if we did see a 5-wave move up into this zone, 3 waves back to the downside, and another 5-wave move up into this 5th wave target, 0908 to the 0844, this would align with coming into this higher target here. And what that would then mean is what we'd be expecting is that this would become 1, 2, all of this would become 3, we'd get a 4th wave and then a 5th wave, which that potential target could be here towards the 0998 to the 0910. Now these targets will change depending exactly how the structure develops here. Sometimes we can get extensions which can push these up, but effectively this is what we'd be looking for here. Now if we are looking at this slightly different, what we could also argue is, because if we are counting this move in this way, the structure is not the neatest. We could also argue that this is just ABC to the upside. So if that is just an ABC to the upside here, what we could get rather is something along these lines, where this becomes 1, we have this as AB, and we're looking for a C wave down. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this for as long as we remain below this B wave high here, which is sitting towards this zone of the 0617. If we see price come back up here in 3 waves, we need to be careful we don't form a bigger 5-wave move, which could then look to come back down and test this A wave low. Now, what this could then mean is that possibly we could see a move down here towards this 0434, which would be a 786 retracement of this move to the upside that we got over here. And that could then tie in with the idea that, you know, if we do get 5 waves to the downside here, we could move into this lower target box. Now, invalidation of this would be moving down past the 0399. So there's not a lot of space if we do look to push down into the lower part of this target box. So I would be potentially looking towards the higher end here, which would be towards this 1236. Towards this 1236 and this 1618. Though if this is actually just A, B, and C, then a move down into these lower levels could align much better with that idea. So we need to just be careful of that possibility that we could still see a flush to the downside here, looking to take out any longs that had been opened in this area before looking for that continuation to the upside. Now, if we do see something along these lines and we do get a deeper corrective structure here where we get a move into this lower region here, what we could then see is a potential 5-wave structure to the upside. Now, we would have to see a move up towards the 0859 to confirm this after having this flush to the downside. Now, that would be off of this area here of the 0449. If, however, we move down lower, this would change that target area, but the principle would remain the same, that we would be looking for a move to the upside here in 5 waves, as long as we hold this 0399. Now, this move to the upside could also just become A, B, and C, in which case we would need to be very careful around this 0674. We do have a target box up here between the 0702 and the 0644. Now, within this target box, what we do have is some daily naked points of control, as well as a monthly one that's sitting here right on that 1-to-1 towards this 0676. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this level. There's also potential here to swing fail some of these highs. So it's a very interesting zone. If we do see price move up into that level, could be quite an interesting area to keep an eye on. So within this, effectively what we'd be saying is that we're looking for a 5-wave move to the downside. Now, there's not enough structure here to confirm this yet, but effectively we'd be looking for a 5-wave move down here, and then another 5-wave move to the upside, looking for this 3rd wave target or this wave 4. So this is looking at this as a flat in the middle here. Now, it is possible we could see this start to move directly to the upside here, where actually what we have is this becomes our wave 1. We have this as a wave 2. And we could start to push up directly for this 3rd wave. Now, if we are looking at this corrective move to the downside here, what we could say is that within this structure, we could have this as W, X, A, B, and C. Now, this could actually be completed already. If I come into the 1 hourly here, what we can see is that we have actually come down towards the 0.786 of the W wave here. And we also have just missed out on hitting this 1-to-1 target of this A, B, and a C. Now, this could mean that we could start to see price move back to the upside, but until we actually take this B wave high here, which is sitting towards this 0549, we need to be careful that this doesn't become 1, 2, and then we start to break down in a bigger way, in which case we could still be looking to extend out here, where instead of looking at this as a WX and then looking at this as a Y wave, we could also argue that this is our A wave, this is our B wave, and we could start to form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So that would be looking for that idea that this move could look to break down and actually invalidate these lows. So we need to be very careful with this. If we are looking at this structure in this way, we need to see the support zone hold, and we need to see price move back to the upside here. Now, this support zone that we'd be looking for here typically would be in this area here of the 0486 to the 0530. So we have come down into this already, and we did just touch on to this 0.618. So I'm just cautious here that, you know, if we do continue to hold these lows and set higher lows here, we could see price break back to the upside. Taking this high here would invalidate the idea of this becoming 1, 2, and then we'd have to just see whether we can form good structure to the upside. Because if this is the case and this is a 1, 2, what we want to see is nice strong volume coming in here and seeing a nice parabolic move up here towards this 3rd wave area. We want to see this be nice strong 5-wave structure to the upside here, looking to push us up into this higher area. So that's our bullish case here. If we fail to achieve that, though, we need to be cautious, because like I said, if we want to look at this in the other way, we could be looking at this as a bigger A, B, and a C, in which case what we could get is something along these lines where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could also technically be a W, an X, and a Y, but typically speaking, when we take the high here, if it's going to be a corrective move, it's going to be a C wave, but it is possible as well this could just be a bigger pattern to the downside where this is W, X, and Y, and what we could get is 3 waves here. So if we do get this as A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside, something along those lines, what this could mean is that we could come back down into some of these lower levels here, possibly into this 1618 of the W wave here. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. If we do see price push down in this way, what we could then see is that, like I said, this is W, this is X, this is Y, and we could still see that possibility that we get a push to the upside. Now, if we start to break down here, we need to be a little bit careful, because within that bearish scenario, like I said, we have that possibility that we could still be looking for a 5th. Now, In the previous videos, we were looking at a couple of things. So I'm going to go over the one that is now invalidated. We were talking about this possibility here that this could be 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and we're looking for a fifth wave. Now, we've come up too high here, and the time difference between these two waves is too big. So I'm actually going to just remove that from the chart because that's no longer valid. Now, if we are looking at this idea of a fifth wave to the downside, what we could still see is that this could be 1, 2 here, and we have this as another 1, 2. So until we start taking these highs, we need to be careful because that bearish scenario is still valid at this time. Now, if we are looking at this as a 1 and a 2 again here, what we have done is actually move up high enough here. This has come into this golden pocket area here. So if we do start to form 5-wave structure down, we need to be careful that this doesn't start to extend out and look to head down towards this 02000. If, however, we do move up higher here, this would actually change this target. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. If this move is not completed, it's a corrective move, we could still see this extend to the upside here, but not as an impulse. So like I said, this could be just A, B, and C, where we get this as a flat in the middle here, and then we see another push up. Alternatively, what we could get here is that this structure could become just a bigger W, X, and a Y to the upside, where this move over here, I'm actually going to remove this one for a second. This move to the upside could be a W wave. We get 3 waves to the downside, still look to find support in the 0434 to the 0496, and then still look for another 3-wave move to the upside, which would take us up towards this 1-to-1 here, which would be the 0727. Now, if we do see this develop as a bigger corrective move here, and we fail to take this high, we need to be on the lookout for that potential that we could still see that continuation to the downside afterwards. However, it is also possible that if we are looking at this as a possible 5th wave here, what we could also argue is that we could be getting something like this. Now, if we are looking at this as ABC for 1, this could actually be a wave 2 already completed. Now, if this is the case, what we would be looking for within this structure here effectively is a contracting diagonal, where this becomes 1, we see 3 waves up for 2, see 3 waves down for 3, 3 waves up for 4, 3 waves down for 5. So going to be on the lookout for this if we do start to break down in a bigger way here, and we look to sweep this wave 1 here. What we could see is that this could start to form corrective structure to the downside, looking for this idea of coming down in a diagonal pattern. Now, it is also possible within this if this is A, we get that flat here and we get ABC, this would still align with this area here. So the key thing to take away from this is until we actually start breaking these 2 highs here, we need to be very careful of that possibility that we could still see that continuation to the downside and see this look to break down in a bigger way. Now, we're going to come back in here and we're going to just discuss this idea of a breakdown. So even though it's not my primary expectation here, I am watching this level here, saying that, you know, as long as we stay below this zone, we could look to actually extend to the downside. So if we do see just a 3-wave move to the upside, common rejection zone would be higher up here towards this 0530 to this 0541. But if I throw this 382 on, we've already come up into this zone over here. So if we do start to break down in a bigger way, this could actually become 1, 2. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get another wave 2 here, and then this starts to break down in a bigger way. Confirmation of this would only come by moving down much lower here. We'd need to actually see price break down past this level here of this 0468 to confirm this, in which case then we'd be looking for this idea that this is a 5-wave move down. Now, the key thing is here, if we do get a 5-wave move down in this way, we have to be very careful that there isn't a series of 1s and 2s here, where this could actually be 1, 2. This becomes 3, we get 4, 5, and then we would have to look at this whole move here as potentially something like a diagonal into this low, and that would mean that we're starting to break down in a bigger way. Now, if we do get this as a bigger 5-wave move off this high here, this would indicate that we're going to see 3 waves up and then that continuation down. So this is what we want to avoid if we're looking for that bullish case here. Like I said, it is possible that we could get this as A, B, and C, and then look to sweep these lows here before looking for price to reverse back to the upside. We would have to keep an eye on how this move develops to the downside. If it starts to get too impulsive, then the chances are that it becomes more likely that we're going to see price look to break down here directly, and possibly then that diagonal idea is going to be the one which is going to be our priority count. Having a look at the daily CPR lines here, what we can see is that we're currently below these CPR. Now, these are sitting towards this 0523 to this level here of the 030. If we just see 3 waves up here, we could see that price start to break down. Our targets to the downside here is this 0504, we have this 0490, we have this 0467, and this 0453 as potential targets for today. Now, if we do see price push back above these central lines here, possible targets to the upside primarily would be this 0541. Now, I'd want to see how we react here, because until we take that high, it could still become something like a 5-wave move down here. Alternatively, if we do manage to break back above these levels, we could see price be gravitated towards some of these higher lines here, 0564, 0578, and this higher level here of this 6 cents. So if we do see price look to break to the upside here, potentially we could see this confirm that we get a move up here, but the CPRs are actually printing to the downside, so this is giving us a bearish bias. And now we need to see whether price actually confirms this bias or whether it rejects it. If it rejects it and we start to break back above these levels, this could indicate that we could see these higher targets come into play. Now, some other targets that we're going to be discussing here is the weekly pivots. What we can see here is over this week, we've actually interacted with these central lines here, and we've rejected to the downside. Now, if we do see price continue to the downside here, what we could see is a move down potentially towards this 0483. We have targets for this week of this 0432 and this lower target here of this 0365. If we do see price continue to break down in this way, possibly we could see interactions with these levels. If, however, we do look to find support and look to move back up, I'm going to be cautious, as this area could become resistance at the 0542 to the 0558 area, in which case we could still look for that rejection and that possibility of that downside continuation. If, however, we start to break back above these levels, targets for this week then become this 06. So the 6 cents is within both of these, the daily and the weekly. We have this 0667 and this 0719 higher up here. So going to be keeping an eye on those levels if we do see price move up towards them. Now, if we have a look at the monthly, what we can see here is our current CPR lines are still sitting below us down here towards this 0503 and this area here, this 0494. So if we do see price come back down one more time here, this could be a very interesting area, particularly with the idea of sweeping some of these lows that we have here. If we see price come back down here, this could look to find support and then have some kind of a bounce, or alternatively look for that reversal if we're looking at this as 1, 2, and then we're looking for that third wave up. So going to be keeping an eye on this zone. If we do see price come back down here one more time, this could be quite an interesting area. Now, if we start to lose these levels, downside targets for this month are this 0407. We have this level here of the 0308, and then all the way down here we have the 0216. Now, we don't always have to get interactions with these levels, but if we do see price move up into them, we can see potential pivots off of these zones. Now, if we do look to actually continue up here, upside targets for this month still remain at this 0690 and this 0790 to the upside here. So we're going to be keeping an eye on those levels if we do see price look to push to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.